2004, one of the best years in gaming history. With awesome title drops like Red Dead Revolver, Need for Speed Underground 2, and one of my favourite games of all time, Halo 2, the industry was growing like we've never seen before. While Halo 2 and Counter-Strike Source was dominating the market for multiplayer shooters, the single-player story shooters of 2004 were just as captivating. The incredibly talented developers over at Crytek knuckled down for 3 to 4 years, and then finally, in March of 2004, the industry welcomed the birth of a new franchise that is deeply loved to this day. That franchise being FarCry. Hitting the market running, FarCry received huge scores right out the gate. With an 89 Metacritic score, gamers knew this was not just another simple shooter. Taking the role of Jack Carver, an arrogant Special Forces operative, the player is tasked to track down and search for Valerie, Jack's journalist companion that he gets separated from when the boat gets ambushed and destroyed by a group of mercenaries. In today's video, we'll be checking out the 2014 HD remaster and deciding if it holds up as well as our favourite classics or if it sinks to the bottom of the ocean to be forgotten just like Jack's boat. This dangerous tropical archipelago challenges us to 21 achievements, majority of them being generic level completion requirements. It still has a good handful of mind-numbing, teeth-gritting achievements that make you scream what the fuck each failed attempt. After that acid trip of an intro, we start this adventure crawling around some old ruins, trying to stay undetected until we can find something to defend ourselves with, this introducing us to Crow for the first time.
Listen, dirtbag, keep an eye out for some punk in a red Hawaiian shirt. If you see him, call me at once. Am I understood?
Yes, sir.
I'm heading out.
Using a rock to distract the guard, we sneak onwards until we come across a room with a handy-dandy deagle and a radio that's been left for us.
Hello? Are you there? Pick up the radio if you can hear this. I know you're there. I've been tracking you since you and Val arrived.
Who are you?
I'm the guy who's going to tell you how to survive. Call me Doyle.
How do I know I can trust you?
Well, for starters, how about the fact that I haven't turned you in? That radio has a bioreader. Since I know you're there, I could have ratted you out already.
Here, the game introduces us to two very important details right out the gate. Firstly, a character that goes by Doyle, a name that will be popping up throughout the game, and secondly, Jack's god-awful voice acting. I mean to throw no shade on Peter Thias because he does show Jack's cocky attitude throughout the story, but my lord, listening to him talk gives me some PTSD to the first time I played the original Resident Evil games. Escaping the ruins with some fresh armor and ammo, we take out our first group of mercs. Being a regular PC player, the footage shows off just how awful I am on a controller after not touching one for so long, but killing them lets us add a new rifle to our arsenal and a pair of binoculars to help us in our adventures, allowing us to mark and track enemies. Clearing the next camp of mercs lets us steal a buggy, a tool to not only help us get across the island, but to also allow us to get our very first achievement called Uneven Terrain for 5G. To get this, we need to run over 5 mercs while driving a land vehicle, popping the achievement. Finishing up our first mission, we enter an old ship as Dial believes there is a boat that we can acquire located near the top. Entering the ship grants us our second achievement, re-enlisted for another 5G. We get it for just finishing the mission, making it our first unmissable achievement.
Damn it, I'm sealed in.
Make your way to the top of the carrier. You should be able to procure a boat from the upper deck. While you're in the carrier, see if you can spot any sign of Val. We need to know where they're taking her.
Listening to Dial, we fight our way to the top deck in search for a small boat, while also searching for any information on where Valerie is being held captive. After clearing multiple floors of mercs, we stumble across a small radio room where we can find a bunch of Valerie's possessions and a radio conversation discussing a prisoner.
Gonna find her. We're taking her to the bunker. Crow out!
Is someone over there? No sign of Val herself, but I found her camera. There's also a file here on some joker named Krieger.
This archipelago is the ideal location for my research. These islands are isolated from international shipping lanes, so I am free to do my work without interference from the outside world. This work will take time, but a measure of the future of mankind depends on the success of my research here. I will not fail my destiny.
Doyle, they're taking Val to somewhere called the Bunker. Where's that?
I know where that is, but it's heavily guarded. Get a boat and I'll meet you.
I'm on my way.
Now that we know she's not here, we continue to the top deck, clearing out all remaining mercs. But before getting to our boat, however, we make sure to stock up on health and armor for our next achievement. We fight over the top deck, we find our boat, and we shoot it down, heading east to the island of Capitao. Completing the mission grants us the achievement Hurt Humi for a whole 30G. We get this for finishing a mission with full health and armor. Luckily, the armor and health we picked up earlier allowed us to get this, as going into this, I was under the impression we actually needed to finish the whole mission without taking damage, so I'm glad I double-checked before actually doing that. Upon our arrival to Capitao, Doll gives us the fun task of destroying some satellite dishes, as it will allow us to travel more freely and undetected. A huge portion of this mission is just simply gunning down large groups of mercs while we climb to the top of the mountain. A simple task that we expect from a shooter, but a task that we'll start to see happen a lot in the later missions. Once we reach the top, we acquire a shiny new sniper, watch a guy fall to his death for some reason, and then fight into the fort. Pushing through the fort, we reach a set of doors where, unfortunately, they're locked down. With a bit of luck on our side, Doyle can hack in and open them for us. Next to the door, we also get our hands on the rocket launcher. Here at the doors is where we fight for our next achievement, Spec Ops Training for 40 Gs. I gotta be honest, I know I said this is where we're gonna fight for the achievement, it's more like this is where we're gonna sit and hide, as the requirements for this is to not die while Dial hacks the gates. Play smart, not hard, right?
Security's been broken. Get into the building.
The beta strain of mutagen is more potent than I originally anticipated. The test subjects are demonstrating superhuman qualities, but are somewhat unstable. I am concerned they may become difficult to control. I have taken the precaution of using my own DNA as a carrier for the strain. Perhaps this will give them some primordial instinct linking them to me. Then I should be able to control them. The next test subjects will be ready for incubation soon.
We steal a keycard from a merc that we blasted so that we can open a small armory where we can steal a demolition pack.
Oh, a demolition pack. Right. Good thing I remember to pack a few of those.
Don't be difficult. It's unprofessional.
With demolition pack in hand, we find the gas fuel pumps, plant the explosives, and make a run to escape down this very convenient, poorly lit corridor that leads directly outside for some reason. We start directly after our last mission, and we've been told by Doyle to meet him on the far side of the island. This is where we have the chance to get our two next mystical achievements, long distance correspondence for 5G and flight simulation also for 5G. For flight simulation, all we need to do is steal this very convenient hand glider, fly a little forward off the cliff, and then drop into the water below, falling over 150 meters and surviving. Moving on to long distance correspondence, we restart the mission, and if we look across the river, we can see some mercs at a turret. As this guy is over 500 meters away, we take him out with a headshot, and just like his nice big head, our achievement pops. Continuing on, we fly across the river, take out some mercs, steal another buggy, and then make our way to the pier. Clearing the pier, as requested by Dial, finishes the mission, granting us our next unmissable achievement, offline interactions for 10G. In addition of getting the achievement, we also get to meet Doyle face to face, where he gives us his very
How did
best
you know
Bond
that?
villain impression.
I've been expecting you.
10 out of 10, Doyle. After a long conversation with Doyle, we get informed that Valerie has been moved to the bunker on the other side of the island. She's going to have to wait for now, though, as we're approaching our next missable achievement. This part of the story was where I was ready to leave Valerie to become a test subject, because my god, this achievement was so stupid. The achievement in question is Ninja Jack. It had me pulling out my goddamn hair. We need to collect a keycard that's located at the other side of the merc camp without alerting anyone. Sounds simple enough, but my god, it wasn't. I made some awful attempts, and after that I decided, thinking it was a smart move, to research the achievement, seeing if there was an easier path or anything that I was missing to just make my life easier. From what I found, I was already taking the correct path, but what I learned was that if a marked enemy with a green indicator turns to any other color, I fail. That also eliminates the ability to use the suppress MP5 I picked up earlier in the game, because if a bullet hits an enemy, they are alerted to your location for a split second before dying. Absolutely stupid. With this in mind, I attacked the achievement again, and again, and again. Repeatedly for what felt like 2 hours. No matter what I did, crouched, slow worked, perfectly timed every move, it doesn't matter because somehow an eagle-eyed merc with a hearing of a greater waxmouth detected me. It beat me. It bested me. I put my controller down for the night and just went to bed. Starting again with a fresh mindset, a bit of confidence, I give it another go. I thought, screw the internet, I'm doing this my way. I followed the exact same path, but this time I decided to kill some of the guards. I'm so glad I did this because even with the indicators turning orange, that's stage 3 of the 4 on the detection scale, I reached the key card and voila, 20G baby, let's go. After that soul-sucking achievement behind us, we finally access the caves where we get shown some of Krager's test subjects that we heard about earlier. After wandering around, not entirely sure where we currently are, we fight onwards. Maybe Jack knows where we are.
How the hell should I know? I'm in some kind of cave.
Okay, thanks Jack. We walk around a little longer, killing the rest of the guards, leading us to an elevator, taking it up, ending the mission. We start with a scene that feels like it's directly out of Alien, showing us that we're in for more than just another military shooter. Entering a room just down the hall, the horror vibe grows stronger when we come across the body of a very first Trigen.
Trigens are what Dr. Krieger researches. They're biogenetically engineered primates. The scientists in the main supervision area of the Treetop Research Facility should know where Val is. You're going to need to get that information from them.
Doyle, what the hell are they doing here?
It's all part of Krieger's plan, Jack. He's cooked up a serum which enhances every organ and muscle in the recipient's body. So far, he's just been using it on primates, at least as far as I know. The only drawback to the serum is that it decreases the recipient's mental facility and makes them ultra-violent. Krieger controls them using conditioning implants.
Listening to Doyle, we search for the scientists in the facility, taking out all mercs and trigens that get in our way. Finally stumbling across the scientist room, we walk in on some trigens, taking out the scientist that we're looking for. Bit unfortunate. With the scientist dead, we steal another jeep, making our way to the bunker. We finally reach the bunker, but of course, we can't get in. We make our way to the other side in search for a demolition pack to help us get into the compound. After finding another conveniently placed demo pack, we take it to the rear of the compound, blowing a hole in the weak point.
What did you do?
I can tell you, but it's more fun to make you wonder.
Entering the bunker, we unlock the achievement in the zoo for 40G. All we needed to do was finish the mission without dying. Nice and easy.
Listen up. I've hacked into the secure channels, and it looks like Valerie is being transferred to a chopper.
Oh, man!
They must be taking her to Pagao or Yucatan. You'll have to make it through this bunker to get to the landing strip. The problem is, everybody knows you're coming.
Right now, I'm so pissed off it doesn't matter if they know it or not.
Annoyingly, this is where I need to pause the video. I have absolutely no idea why, but my audio died on almost all recordings after this point for the rest of the run. I'll try my best to explain every detail of information that's going on, so there shouldn't be any issues. But if you're curious on why you can hear any of the game or cutscenes, this is why. After spending almost 6 missions finding our way to the bunker and tracking down Valerie, we hear the amazing news that Valerie's getting moved. Classic. Our new objective is to fight through the bunker, fending off all mercs, just like the previous missions, so we can find the landing strip that she's getting taken to. There's not much to show in the bunker because it's just like every other mission before it, a mix of narrow halls with tight combat, with an odd occasion of some dude blasting us from a turret in an open section. Towards the end of the mission, we walk into a room where a group of trigens are being held in some holding pens. This exciting display leads us to our next missable achievement, bonding experiences for 5G. This is a pretty fun achievement, and we get this by taking a left as we walk into the pens, up the stairs, and releasing the trigens, allowing us to watch as they massacre each other. Somehow, we managed to catch up with the mercs transporting Valerie. Making sure the past 7 missions didn't go entirely to waste, Jack holds onto the chopper as Valerie not only deals with every merc, but also kicks our poor Jack in the face. Traveling inland, our new objective is to work with Valerie so that we can set some untrained trigens free, making the lives of the mercs just a little harder. This mission's gameplay is extremely unnoteworthy, just like the last. We need to travel to some sort of steam regulator, killing waves of mercs just like the previous missions, but we do get our hands on some goggles. The game displays them as a night vision, but they're more on the lines of like a heat vision. The goggles help show enemies that are a little harder to spot. I think they're pretty cool. After killing all the mercs, stealing some blueprints in the process, we enter the regulator, ending the mission and popping our next unmissable achievement, Mean Steam Machine for 10G. So far, in my opinion, the game has been pretty fun. Lots of shooting, a few fun surprises throughout the story, like new equipment, and then the Trigens are pretty cool. But these missions are slowing down my excitement a little. Just like the past few missions, we spend most of our time just killing mercs and fulfilling small tasks. In this case, after we push into the next facility, we spend a good few minutes just turning off some steam valves, allowing us to progress through the regulator so we can access the control center. The control center in question houses a control panel, something we use to, you guessed it, blow up the regulator. Like I said, I was getting a little frustrated that almost every mission so far we need to infiltrate some form of lab or encampment just to blow it up. Yeah, I hear you. I understand that playing a shooter and then complaining that all I'm doing is shooting grunts and blowing stuff up is pretty dumb. But for something of such high rating, it's just getting a little bit too generic for me. To cover what we just missed in the last cutscene, after we set the Trigens free, we find out that they're not only testing on apes, but humans too. Fun. With this news, we're now tasked to go and rescue Valerie again. Seriously? We spend the entire mission backtracking through the bunker that we just spent the previous mission fighting through. It's not much to see, just super fun turret section, but mainly just killing waves and waves of mercs and trigens, just like before. Reaching the surface again, we spend the next mission traversing across the island, gliding, running, and driving across to the other side in search for the island's archives, the last location that Valerie reported at. Fighting through to the archives defenses, we finish the mission. A somewhat long mission full of nothing important, so we're just going to skip over most of it, but not forgetting our next unmissable achievement, differing opinions for 10G. I know I probably sound like I'm not enjoying the game at this point, but I really was. I just wanted more. Getting tasked to do the same thing again and again, fighting the same enemies, I was getting a little bored. And that's when the game pulled the rug from under my feet, making me jump a mile, blast me with a random invisible human mutant trigen. These can only be seen with the Cryvision goggles. It's a nice change. This new edition, it was pretty cool. Even though the game was still easy at this point, it gave me something that kept me on my toes, something I really needed. We make our way back outside, allowing us to channel our inner Halo Reach memories by stealing a pretty useless forklift, still pretty badass. Using it to make our way over to the other side, we take a cargo lift down, now entering the cold storage facility. Almost reaching Val, we fight our way through the cooler. There's not much to say at this mission, just like the rest. We spend most of it clearing levels of trigens and mercs, getting deeper and deeper so that we can find Val. After killing waves and waves, we eventually stumble across this chamber, so we choose the best move and flood it. Using the high level of water, we swim up through the vent and taking us to the location of Val. Nice and easy. Clearing the trigens that are attacking her, we finally rescue her again. After we rescue her, we have a lengthy conversation with Doyle. And right after that, we find out that we can't call for help to get off this island. Why, you ask? Because Krieger is jamming us. What's our next step? Spend another mission blowing everything up, of course. Pushing the new objective aside, Mission 14 starts us in a rubber dinghy. This sparking a thought through my mind. There's an achievement, Oceanic Vista, for 5G. This requires us to kill one enemy in land, aerial, and sea vehicle. Using our new dinghy to our advantage, we take out one merc, popping our achievement. Speeding off, we get to land, finding some very convenient explosives again. Traveling to each radio tower, we plant an explosive, blowing them up and granting us some sweet, sweet, sweet revenge from all the towers that Far Cry 3 made us traverse and climb. 3 towers down, we head west and come across one of my favorite parts about this game so far. It's the enemy boat that, no lie, translates to evil cargo ship. Best writing ever. With this evil cargo ship being the main source of the jammers, we find some explosives on board. Of course we do. So we use them to blow it up. Ready for the end of the mission, where we get a surprise visit from our buddy, Crow. If you don't remember Crow, he's the guy in the cowboy hat from the tutorial mission that looks like he was ripped right out of a Gears of War game. Taking out his chopper, which is pretty easy, he flees, allowing us to get rescued by Doyle, ending the mission. The game is getting a little bit more fun. We stumble across some new enemies that are invisible, and we have a little mini boss fight, which I thought was pretty fun. So, leading into the next mission is probably one of my favorite mission settings. We're tasked by Doyle to locate a PDA in an old temple hidden by a scientist that he once knew. Nice and easy. Traveling through the jungle, we find some explosives again, allowing us to blow up the entrance to the temple. These mercs really just love storing random blocks of explosives that we can steal. You'd think they're learned by now, but you know. We fight our way through the temple, killing waves of mercs and invisible enemies, finding the PDA and a pile of explosives again. Continuing through the temple, we backtrack a little bit, use the explosives to get out of the temple, finishing the mission. Mission 16, River, was a nice change of pace. Doyle informs us that Crow is not only alive from when we took his chopper out, he is also close by. With this information, we steal a dinghy and make our way down the river. Definitely not a complaint, but I'm going to add this here. The game is not creative on the mission names at all. Training, where we spend some time training. Boat, where we climb a boat and look for another boat. And river, where we spend our time going down a river. Like I said, it's not a complaint, just something I found a little bit funny. Making it to the end of the river, we press further up into the jungle in the direction of an uplink so we can transfer the data from the PDA in the prior mission. With Crow being between us and the uplink, we can finally get our next achievement of Ravens and Crows for 20G. A nice simple requirement, kill Crow with a headshot. Killing his comrades, we attack his group, line up his big watermelon shaped head, and blow that stylish cowboy hat straight to the ground. Valerie meets up with us, and after we upload the data through the uplink, we search Crow's body, discovering not only where they made the mutagen, but how there's a nuke on site just in case they need to blow up the lab to cover their tracks. These mercs really love just putting explosives exactly where we need them to be. Like I said earlier in the video, we've been facing some annoying audio issues, so I'm just going to catch everyone up with a little backstory we missed in the past cutscene. Army Intelligence busted Krieger for unapproved human testing. With him moving his work into the private sector, our buddy Doyle was deployed to keep tabs on his work. We are now on the move to find the nuke we discovered after killing Crow to destroy the main compound and adjoining compound. Pushing into an outpost of the main compound, we help Val locate a terminal to hack, giving us security codes to push further. Leaving Val hack, we push around to the north side of the compound in search of a keycard and an arming device for the nuke. With a keycard in hand, we breach the final building of the compound, giving us access to the arming device. Regrouping with Val, we push onto the next compound, killing everyone on site, accessing the armory, and finding our trusty forklift from earlier holding our nuke. Following up the path with Val, we end the mission, granted us 2 more achievements. Operation We Want Peace for 10G, that's for completing the mission Swamp. We also popped the achievement Hot Zone Date for 40G, and that's for also completing the Swamp mission, but making sure Valerie doesn't die during the entire mission. With nuke in hand, or nuke in forklift, we push into the main factory, clearing the way for Val so we don't get any unexpected premature explosions. Taking the elevator into the factory, we clear the gate, getting the nuke deeper. With the nuke in place, we breach a nearby room in search for a serum that protects us from any side effects that the nuke can cause if we end up being affected by the nuke. After seductively injecting each other, we protect Val as she arms the nuke. This section was pretty fun. Even though most of the game is gunning down mindless mercs, it was fun doing it as a defense tower mode. With the nuke armed, we rush back down to the lift, take it up to the top floor, and escape the compound. While running out the compound, the nuke triggers, destroying the entire factory and throwing us through the air, knocking us out. We awake aboard Krager's chopper. Looking below, we see an island taken over by Trojans, a horror scene, a nightmare. Thank God we're in the chopper and not down the shit. Surviving the fall, we take on our next achievement, Wildlife Safari for 40G. We are required to complete the mission, Dam, without picking up a single weapon. With this requirement in mind, we run past every Trigen until we reach a down chopper. The path forward is up the hill, through the fortified walls. Bad news for us, there's a huge wave of Trigen on the way to kill us. Good news for us, the achievement allows us to use the turrets that are mounted on the side of the down chopper. We clear out the Trigens, make our way up the hill and through the fortified walls. Heading into the armory, we start to hulk out for some reason, finding out that we've been infected. Apparently, even though we took the serum, Plot doesn't care and now we're green. We also find out that Krieger is also infected and he has been taking a special serum to stop further infections. As we're newly infected, this serum should stop us from turning big and green, I hope. Stealing a buggy again, we drive over an active volcano because why not, leading us to the volcano's facilities doors. Of course, Krieger has a volcano lair. What else should we expect from a man with a boat called Evil Cargo Ship? Scaling down the cliff and bucking it past all the armed guards, we enter the facility, popping the achievement for not picking up any weapon. Making sure to grab some guns before continuing, we fight through the facility in a hunt for Krieger and his special serum. Finding Super Krieger and Val, we engage him to save Val. With a very underwhelming boss fight, we kill Hulk Krieger, granting us the Contained Evolution achievement for 30G for exactly that, killing him. With Krieger dying, we learn that the only way we can get infected is via injection. The same injection we took with Val to stop the infection in the first place. We learn the truth that Doyle is the true mastermind behind all of this, manipulating us to do his dirty work, killing Krieger, allowing him to take the mutagen for himself to sell. Damn, I knew that Bond villain expression earlier was too good for a good guy. Taking the lift to the center of the volcano, we hunt for our old friend, now villain, Doyle. Taking out the swarm of Trigen and the wave of guards, we breach the control room where Doyle is hiding. Charging Doyle, we kill him. We use our knife, granting us the achievement Cold Drops for 20G. For exactly that, killing him with our melee weapon. We also get the achievement Unleash Fury for 10G, and that's for completing the final mission, Volcano. Like I said earlier, these mission names are just perfect. We did it. FarCry Classic has been completed, but we're not done yet. We're 20 achievements down, we're still missing Carver style. 40 Gs for completing the game, again on either hard or realistic. Fortunately for you all, I'm not going to make everyone sit through everything they just watched, so let's speed this up. Everything is the same on this run. The only difference, Jack turns from a tough, skilled, special forces operative into a bloody marshmallow. It's so easy to die, and every enemy has some increased health, the kind of stuff you expect from a harder difficulty. The more notable areas that are worth discussing would be the areas that have the large trigens with the huge rocket launchers. One shot with a rocket will completely take you out, and they have so much health that it's truly challenging. Not to ramble on about these guys, but they were the biggest issue I faced in the game. The volcano level had so many. I just learned to try run past them and hope for the best. Even when trying to run them over, the game had completely different idea to ruin my fun. Reaching Krieger, again, the boss fight is a lot harder this time. Explosives are useless as Val decides to take each and tank all the damage for herself, and Krieger has the same health as a Destiny goddamn raid boss. We kill him again, go back to the volcano, and here it's just like the Ninja Jack achievement rage all over again. I was on this part for a solid 20 minutes. It honestly felt impossible. You can't take out the big guys without the little guys sniping you, but you also can't take out the little guys in time for the big guys to join the party and blow us up. Taking a breath, I found an armory, making life so much easier. Picking up a rocket launcher and a sniper, we slowly take everything out, allowing us to push back up to Doyle, shooting him right between the eyes this time, finishing the game for good.
No, please. You don't understand. They sent me. They're always watching. You can't change this. You can't change the future.
Probably not, but I can make sure you're not a part of it. Stupid bastard.
21 out of 21 achievements down. We finally 100% Far Cry Classic for only 400G. To answer the question from the beginning, I believe Far Cry Classic still holds up. Is it clunky? Sure. Do the HD remaster graphics still look outdated? Yeah. Do the repetitive mission objectives of blowing everything up and constantly needing to rescue Valerie hurt the replayability? Yeah. But setting all that aside, I had a good time. The clunky feels adds a nice charm to the game. The range of guns, the goofy lines from Jack, and the whole atmosphere of the game made the experience a fun one. I wouldn't say it's a perfect game by all means, but for the time, I can see why the reviews were raving. Would I suggest anyone to play this? 100%. I had a great time. With that, we close out our chapter of Far Cry 1. If you stuck around until the end, I appreciate you a lot. I'm excited to post games like this as I want to experience a lot more stories and games that I never had a chance to when I was growing up. If you liked it, feel free to show your love in the comments and let me know if there are any games you want me to tackle next. We'll leave the credits rolling to show love for the dev team, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Peace.